Hey guys, this is Nancy and welcome to my channel, More Sweets. This is my very first video, so it's super exciting. Let's go ahead and start out with today. We are making French style macarons. We will be testing them on the silicone and Teflon mats. So Teflon mats has been the big thing. It is a lot thinner compared to the silicone mats, and supposedly it transfer heat a lot better. So that's what we will be testing out today. Okay, so let's start making the meringue. So here I am, I'm pouring 50 grams of egg whites, room temperature of course. Quick hack, if you're just pulling your eggs out of the refrigerator, put them in a bowl, run it under the hot water of your sink, just kind of leave them in a bowl about 4 or 5 minutes, and then it will come up to room temp. And then here I am adding cream of tartar, about 1/8 of a teaspoon. This will help stabilize the meringue so it doesn't break. Essentially, you need a really strong meringue to make these little cookies. I started out stir to just slowly break the egg whites. Eventually, I turned it up to 4. Once I see the frothy bubble, the streaks in the egg whites, I'm going to slowly add in my 45 grams of granulated sugar. So you don't want to dump the whole thing because you want it to slowly incorporate and get some air in there. Alright, so in my big bowl, I have already sifted 65 grams of almond flour and 65 grams of powdered sugar. You can just mix them up in the same bowl and just kind of stir up and just kind of get it ready. Okay, so once the sugar is incorporated, I eventually turned it up to a 6. We really need to get some air in here. So at one point though, we are adding color into our meringue, and the best time to do it is when you have developed a soft peak. So soft peak, like here in the video, is where the meringue just kind of falls back down, kind of just falls back into itself. This is the time you want to add the color, because if you wait for a stiff peak, you might overmix the batter. So let's just go ahead and add our colors in now. I'm using a Mary color navy blue. Mary color is based off of like a gel, which is the best thing to do, best color, best option for macarons. You definitely don't want to use liquid, because liquid might end up throwing off the batter, and then your whole day is just ruined. So I let this go for a little while. I noticed that my blue really wasn't coming in, so I decided to add black in there, which it helped darken the color. Of course, the longer it set to, the darker it will get, so less is more, and you could slowly incorporate. You never want to add too much, because then once the color is changed, it's going to be really hard to get it back. Okay, so at this point we are pretty much done. You can see here that this is a stiff peak where it's not falling down. That is exactly what we are looking for. Okay, so once we have our stiff peak, we can start adding our dry ingredients, which is the 65-gram sifted almond flour and powdered sugar. So I do this in thirds. So first I'll add a little bit just to kind of gently fold it in. I typically don't macaronage until all of the dry ingredients are mixed. You want to make sure though that you are digging the bottom of the bowl too. You want to make sure that you are just folding everything, and then once you don't see any more, you can go ahead and add the second batch and just repeat until you get to the third batch. Okay, so your third batch is in. At this point, we are going to start macaronaging the batter. So the way how I do it is I fold it, cut it in half, and smear all around the bowl. Some people are a little bit more gentle with this, but I'm not. Again, scrape the bottom, smear all around the side to kind of knock out as much air as you can. Do be careful though, because once you go too far, there is no going back. So periodically check your batter. Typically it should be like a molten lava, or where the batter would just kind of fall down like a ribbon and just kind of fall back into himself, and naturally you should be able to make a figure eight, multiple figure eight, which is my best advice. So fold it and just check on it periodically. Okay, so here my batter was not quite ready, so I'll probably just do a couple more foldings and let's take a look. Yep, this is pretty much ready. We are ready for piping. Okay, so first we are piping onto the silicone mat. I'm just doing a little bit on this mat here to just kind of show you guys. So when you're piping, pipe straight up and then slowly pull it out a little bit and just flick the wrist. Again, just start straight up. You don't want to tilt it because then when you bake it, it's going to come lopsided. So straight up and let go of the pressure and just flick the wrist. Okay, so once you're done piping, you want to make sure that you pound these trays super hard. You want to make sure that you knock out any last air in there that are close to the top, because any air bubbles at the top will just end up cracking your shells, and that's the last thing you want. So typically I pound it pretty hard, rotating the tray a few times, and then at the end I will use a toothpick to just pop the air bubbles. Okay, so here I am piping onto the Teflon mats. So these guys have been kind of like a big deal, so I thought I'd give it a try too. But yes, I know my macarons are not as perfect, but this is a test, so it's okay. Again, you want to make sure that you are piping straight up, releasing pressure when you get to the end, and just flicking that wrist to just kind of break off that batter. And here is our final results. We have the silicone coming in full. The feet are not as tall as the Teflon, but they're still pretty full. And then here is the Teflon coming out with beautiful feet, and they're also full. So I mean, they both worked out great. It's just one of them had taller feet, higher feet compared to the other ones, but both turned out great though. I really wish that I could have sided with one more than the other, but they both turned out great. Hey guys, if you like what you just watched, please like the video, subscribe, and comment on what else you guys would like to see. Thank you so much for joining me. Super excited for these next upcoming videos. Thank you. Bye.